All right. Hi, everyone. Do you guys see my screen here?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. I am so happy to be back and seeing everyone's faces again and super excited of what I'm going to share to y'all today about my experience at the urban ecology and what I gained and learned from the amazing research science team that I interned with this past summer. So, right here. All right, before we begin, I know some of you guys know who I am already, but for those who don't know me, my name is Chamong Xiong. I was an intern at the Urban Ecology Center and was part of the science research team this past summer. I am originally from Fresno, California. I was born and raised there my whole life. I recently moved here to Milwaukee at the beginning of this year in January. And also, I just got married 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so starting the marriage life. Yeah, I'm ready for it. I graduated in 2018 with my associate degree in biology at Fresno City College, a community college, and currently attending at UW Milwaukee as a full-time student majoring in environmental science. Well, yeah, so at first I didn't know what to do with my career. I was, jumping back and forth from major to major until I told myself, you know what, I'm just gonna stick with biology for now and see where it takes me. And fortunately enough, this path led me to meeting with the right people who I needed in my life. I met two amazing professors at Fresno City College who are Mr. Ronnie Olsons and Mr. Hawken Dowes, who both taught field biology. So I took field biology back in 2018, spring of 2018, yeah. And I realized that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Learning about all sorts of vertebrates and invertebrates, from the smallest animal like an ant to the biggest living bird in the United States, like the California condor. Or learning about sharks from Mr. Dawas, who, he has his master's in marine biology. And that being said, this also got me into wildlife photography as well. And I ask myself all the time when I go out into the field, how am I going to share my passion for wildlife for those who are at home? And that was when I, dedicated myself to wildlife photography and invested in camera gears. And yeah, so got to where I am today. So here are a few shots I took in the past, and I want to share to you. Uh, This is a juvenile red-tailed hawk at Hensley Lake. Oops, sorry. At Hensley Lake, um, it was a juvenile red-tailed hawk, and it was super curious when it saw me, and it was just looking at me like this and like this. I was like maybe like I know I shouldn't be doing this, but I was like maybe 10 yards away from it. And it was so low onto like the branches of the tree, and it was just looking like this and like this, and I was taking a whole bunch of pictures, and then it just finally flew off. And here's another picture of a great blue heron at Lost Lake Park in California. A cinnamon teal captured at Merced Wildlife Refuge. Killdeer, also at Merced Wildlife Refuge. Yesterday I was practicing. I was like, what bird is this? I was like, oh man, I'm losing my touch already. Like school got me pretty good. And I haven't bird in a while. So I was like, what is this? I know what this bird is. Oh, wait, it's a killdeer. Yeah. Sandhill crane. All right. So, and with this passion, I decided to, compete in a couple of wildlife competitions, like wildlife photo contests So one was held in Sacramento, a regional one, uh, and out of thousands of photo entry, my photo of a Lewistic black phoebe that I captured also in Merced Wildlife Issue won the regional wildlife photo contest in 2019. And here is the winning photo. Sorry, I think my photo was too big for PowerPoint, so they kind of like crop everything by itself. So you missing the background, you get obviously the tail and stuff like that. But yeah, so this is the winning photo of the of a Lewistic black phoebe. Yeah, so how did I end up working at the Urban Ecology Center? I had a good friend in Madison who saw the post on the UC website. She told me to apply for the research science position because she knows I will be a good fit due to my background experience and the love for wildlife. So I Googled it and I applied for it. And maybe a week or two later, I either got a call or an email from Maggie that I was getting an interview. I was super excited that I told my wife that we should do some volunteer at the USC, which we did. I forgot who was in charge, but we were removing the tarps at Washington Park near the Perrys. That was a lot of fun, and it was quite enjoyable to see uh, an American robin following us while we are removing the tarps because it knows that while we remove the tarps there are bugs and worms under the tarps, so it follow us around like for 10 minutes. And yeah, so a couple of weeks later after the interview with Tim, Ethan, and Maggie, Maggie called me and said, hey, you uh, congratulations, you got hired. And yeah, so I got hired into the research team, and I had a blast of the summer as an intern there. Yeah, so being part of the urban ecology research team during the summer, our goal was to practice protecting animals and plant species and their habitats and reintroducing native plants to the area. As part of the world's ecosystem, wildlife provides balance and sustainability to nature's process. Our goal as a research team is to ensure the survival of these species and to educate people and how to live side by side with uh, different types of species. I asked Jeff, one of our land steward fellow at Menominee Valley, I asked him, why is it important to reintroduce native plants here in this area? Because during that time, I was still really new here in Milwaukee. His answer was, the reason why we are planting native plants, not just here in Menominee, but all the three branches. The more native plants we plant and grow, the more native animals will come and visit the area. If we only have thistles and buckthorns, which are non-native, we will lose a lot of our native species, and that is why we are here to manage the parks and planting more native plants in the area. And speaking about native plants, all the three branches at the USC are filled with milkweeds. I have learned so much from Maggie, who taught me about monarch butterflies and their relationship with milkweeds. I have never seen a monarch caterpillar before, even when I was in California. And now that every time I go out and for a walk at the park or hiking, when I see a milkweed, I will go up to a milkweed looking for eggs and worms, eggs and caterpillar now. And I'm just very blessed to have the UEC as like giving me the opportunity to for them to introduce these animals to me and takes photos of them. And here are a couple of photos. This is a caterpillar. I think this was at Kenosha when we're doing a botany walk. This is a stage 4. I forgot all my terms already. I think this is the stage 4 or 5. It's an egg. I think I got this picture in Riverside. Yes. Yeah. Monarch butterfly. I captured this photo at Washington Park near the Perry. Now, also, I did Bumblebee surveys with the research team, and our goal was to take pictures and send them to the DNR to confirm, what type of bees they were. When Ethan told me about this project, this photo project, so it was we got to go out there and take pictures of bumblebees, and I was like, so Ethan told me like this is a project where you go out and take pictures. I was like, I got you, bro. Like this is my field. Like I'm gonna go and take pictures. Oh man, I'm ready for this, right? So I had such a great time in this survey. I learned so much about bumblebees because in the past I was so scared of them when they fly across your face or they're like flying around, and I was like waving them, like swapping them away. But um after learning about them, I appreciate them a lot more, and I learned that they are like little fuzzy teddy bears that don't that they won't even harm you, unless you provoke them or like you distract or like you hurt them, and then yeah, they'll defend themselves. Uh, I was so into this survey that there was one day where it was really hot and muggy outside, and I think Maggie called me or texted me saying, "Hey, it's kind of hot outside, and you've been doing a lot of surveys uh, that morning already, so why don't you take a break?" And I said, "Okay, no problem." But my urge is to go out and take the best picture for Ethan was just too much, and I was like, I just gotta go and take pictures. I kind of don't want to stay in the office. I know it's hot outside, but I'm just gonna go. So I did, and then here's the picture that I took. This is Bumblebee. I think this is the black and yellow Bumblebee. Sorry, Ethan, if I butchered the name. I totally forgot the names.
Black and gold.
Black and
Close.
gold. All right.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So yeah. Sorry, Maggie. If I kind of went out there, did all that stuff, did listen to you, like, oh, I'm gonna go and take pictures. Yeah. So I just wanna um let me see. Oh yeah, I just wanna so the I took a couple of shots, but they're in Kanto, and I don't have access. So this is the only picture of a bumblebee that I took right here. But I still have like thousands of more pictures, but they are in Kanto. So here is a robber fly. He looks like a bumblebee, but it's not a bumblebee. These guys are ferocious predators that they're part of the assassin bug family, and they will eat other bugs. And what I learned from I did my research because they are so fascinating. What I learned was why. So I asked, why would they mimic a bumblebee? Isn't that gonna scare off like other animals? But no, like I said before, bumblebees are fuzzy teddy bears, right? So robber flies will mimic themselves as a bumblebee, so that other bugs think that, oh, it's just a harmless bumblebee. It's not gonna do anything to me. And so the robber wants the other insects to think like that. So the robber would be like, yeah, I'm a bumblebee. I'm cool. I'm not gonna do anything to you. I'm a very friendly guy. So the insects or bug or whatever will come and like drink nectar from the flower and right next to the robber fly, and boom, it kills it and it'll eat it. So that's why they're called one of the assassins bugs out there. Super super awesome, these guys, and super aggressive too. I think this one, when I was getting too close, it waved its wings like zzz, like for me to get away. So it was pretty crazy and very scary looking too. All right, so one of my favorite survey this past summer was the Dragonfly survey. Oh my gosh. I I had so much fun doing this one. Maggie was such an expert at identifying them, and I have learned so much about dragonflies and damselflies. One of my favorite were the metallic, colorful damselflies. Unfortunately, I didn't get enough, like a lot of photos of the metallic, but hopefully next year, when summer comes around again, I'll volunteer with Maggie and I'll take more pictures. And what I've learned about dragonfly is that they are carnivorous. and they really like to pick on mosquitoes, which makes me love them even more. uh, I always question, why are these insects called dragonflies? So now I know, if I was a mosquito or a little fly and I see this giant thing flying, like swooping down on me, I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna say, that's a dragon. It's coming after me. So here are a few photos that I took of dragonflies. Let's see this one right here. I really like this one. This is like, its face looks like a little teddy bear or a cartoon. Here's two green darner, the common whitetail. I forgot which one this one's called. Maggie, do you know what this one's called again?
It might be a blue-fronted dancer.
Yeah, blue
Bamboo
front.
fly.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the tall spotted. Yes, tall spotted dragonfly. This is a female, and here is the male. All right, so now I just want to tell y'all, at first I was not into birds until I met my professors. Before I got into birds, I was really into bugs, spiders and creeper crawlers. However, I didn't have any guidance to lead me to the bug world. And then when I met my professor, and I got into birds, I kind of forgotten about these little critters until I worked with Heidi, our beetle expert at the UEC. The world around us is full of surprises uh, when you enter the insect world. Like when you walk around, like along the park, hiking trails, or even in your backyard, if you really focus on looking for insects, you will find the most weirdest and most interesting thing ever. When I was doing the beetle survey with Heidi, we found like more than a dozen types of beetles and more than 50 different types of insects in general, uh, maybe even more. Um, I also want to share you guys a story. So back when I was in seventh grade, my brother was an undergrad at University of Pacific. He was majoring in environmental science. He had this project where he has to collect 50 different types of insects, and put in alcohol and then pin them. So, but he told me that, man, he doesn't have time. He has all these other projects he's got to do. He doesn't have time to go out and look for bugs. And he asked me to do it, and I was like, I got you. And I remember when I was at school or at home or with my friends, I was just looking for bugs for him, and uh, like I said before, when you actually really focus on looking for bugs, you will see a whole bunch of different types of bugs. I think I remember writing it down when I finished the project for my brother. I collected like 112 types of uh, types of species of bugs, and it was just crazy. So yeah, and then like many years later, when I was in community college and I was taking zoology, I did the same project, 50 bugs, and I asked my cousin, to help me out. Like, hey, let's go out to the parks, and let's catch some bugs. And we got tarantulas, we got tarantula hawks, we got yellow jackets, we got a whole bunch of crazy stuff. So yeah, so here are a couple of photos. This is a milkweed beetle. I think this is a seven spotted. Yep, the seven spotted ladybug, the St. John's beetle. Um, I forgot this. See, I'm losing my touch already about like identifying animals. I'm just gonna call this Daddy Longlegs, and it has all these parasites on it. I was using my macro lens right here, and this is a water bug that I took at Riverside. It was in a cup. Oh. And here's a shell of a uh, what is these bugs called again? Cicadas. There you go. There you go. Cicadas. All right. All right, the bird walk at the UC was just amazing. It's just crazy to know that there are so many different types of birds out at all the three branches when the parks are so close to an urban area where this is heavily populated with people, and and lots of traffic, lots of noise, but you get all these different types of birds, in all three branches. And even with that, at the end of the day, after like a bird survey or a bird walk, we tend to get at least like 35, maybe sometimes 40 types of different types of bird species. So like I said before, when I asked Jeff about native plants, this is why it's so important to manage native plants, because we can keep if we can keep the native plants healthy, we get a lot of different types of animals coming into the parks, like a lot of birds, and then you get a lot of birds, you get a lot of insects, you get a lot of different type of animals coming into the parks, and with that being said, we get more people interested coming into the park. If you're really into birdings or just wildlife sighting or insect surveys, get a lot of people to show up, and that's where we, the UEC staff, are there to educate you and tell you about it. And here are a couple of photos of birds that I took while we did bird walks. Here's a male indigo bunting I took at Riverside. This was the photo that I submitted in the wildlife national competition, and it made it to the finals. So yeah, lovely, beautiful bird. This is song sparrow, also at Riverside near the pond. Goldfinch, or American goldfinch, yep. And this is eastern towhee. Oh yeah, and then a green heron. So the story about this picture was it was early in the morning. We did it. Maggie and I uh, we we were doing a bird walk with a group of volunteers at Menominee, and we're walking. It was early in the morning, so I think these guys, these green heron, were just about to get up, stretching and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, this is my opportunity to like take picture. To see, I could take a picture, like get a picture of them like doing something weird, right? So this guy was being super dramatic. It was yawning, was stretching, so it was just perfect timing. I got a picture of this. So yeah, it's just so funny. It's one of my favorite picture, right, of the green heron. All right. So far, in this presentation, the surveys that I talked about, are during the day. But did you know that the UC also did surveys at night as well? Bat surveys. I do apologize. I don't have any bat photos because I know because it's dark outside and it's nearly impossible to take pictures at night. However, I did see a bat during the day. It was spotted near the bridge, one of the tree trunks at Washington Park. And here is the photo right here. It's a photo of the big brown. Uh, One of the kids saw it, and then I think either he or she reported it, and then they told me about it when I was, we do the bird walk, and I was coming back, and then we saw this bat right here. It was super cute, and I think this one is called the big brown. Yes, the big brown. And if you want to learn more about bats, I highly recommend going on YouTube and watch Dan's bat video on the UC channel. There he talks about the white nose syndromes and why we did bat surveys at all three branches. It's very informative, and if you guys want to learn more about bats, go check out his video. I recommend it. It's really awesome. All right, last but not least, but snake. This is not my photo, by the way. um, yeah, so last but not least, so the funny thing about this survey is that every time when I bring out my camera to this survey, Maggie, Haley, and I, we will never find these snakes whatsoever. And but when I don't bring uh, my camera, we find snakes. So that being said, I don't have much snake photos, but I do have photos in the past. When I was living in California, I did surveys there. Me holding a garter snakes when I was in Cali. So here's a couple of photos. That's me right there in this. So this picture was taken at Maggie Lake up in the Sierra Mountains when I was doing a golden trout survey with the Department of Fish and Wildlife. Um, on this survey, on this snake survey um, here in Milwaukee, uh, I was able to identify what type of snakes they were, and to check and see if they were male or females. Sometimes we find like two or three snakes at the most, and sometimes we're not so lucky. But I had a lot of fun on this survey, and I enjoyed the long walk. And so here's a couple of pictures. This is me holding a garter snake, and this is my coworker, Amber. This is a so we're hiking back to our car. It was a team of four, and I was last. I was really really tired. It was like a 10 mile hike, and then Amber was like maybe like 10 yards in front of me, and then she freaked out. She said, "Oh my god, snake!" And then I took out my backpack. I ran as fast as I can, and I was just like, "Where is it?" And I was just like, "Ah!" And I dived in. I caught it, and yeah. So I was like, "Yeah, these guys don't bite, Amber. It's just here, hold the snake. It doesn't bite. It will pee on you, but it doesn't bite." So here it is. She's holding the snake. All right. So um, other projects I did was, botany walks, animal care, feeding. I help out Haley out at Washington Park to help out her to help out feeding the animals there, and I volunteer, doing photography for the marketing department. Here is a photo. One of my favorite photo. This is a thistle, a Canadian thistle. It was just about to bloom, and it just looked like a lotus. It's just really, really beautiful. And I forgot what plant this is, but it's a nice photo right here. All right. So before I end, I just want to say thanks to everyone who showed up today for my presentation. I hope you enjoy my photos and my journey with the Urban Ecology Center and with the research team. I want to give thanks to my research team who guided me through this past summer when I was an intern. I have to admit that I wouldn't be here where I am today if it wasn't for them, and I miss them dearly. Um, I also want to thank everyone at the volunteer, all the bird walks and all the other surveys who showed up. I also learned a lot from you guys, and I also want to give thanks to all the UC departments that I worked with. I had such a great time knowing you all. And that being said, when I'm on break from school, I'll come by and do some bird walks with you guys again. I can't wait. Also, I'm still going to be around at UEC. I'm helping Anna, who is the lead manager for the marketing department. I'm volunteering and helping her taking photos for the upcoming events, such as the cider or cedar and cycle ride at Three Bridges Park and the Turkey Trot Fun and many more upcoming events this winter. And yeah, so I hope to see you guys around, and thank you for giving me the opportunity this morning to share my experience with the UC. Thank you so much. I love you all.